Hi everyone! Thank you for purchasing the Church Bookkeeping System. I'm Jessie, and I built this to give your church a complete financial system without the cost or complexity of accounting software. Before we dive in, I also recommend reviewing the README tab at the start of your template. It includes detailed written instructions for every section we cover here and is a great reference as you get started. You can also check out the FAQ tab, which covers the most commonly asked questions. If you run into anything, it might already be answered there, and if not, you can always send me a message directly and I will get back to you. One quick note before we begin. This template uses protected cells to prevent formulas from being accidentally overwritten. In Excel, protections are fully enforced and will prevent any accidental changes. You can unprotect individual sheets from the review menu if needed. In Google Sheets, you'll see a warning if you attempt to edit a protected cell. If that warning appears, simply click Cancel and enter data only in the designated input cells. With that, let's begin with the Inputs tab. This is where your setup begins, and you only need to do this once. Start with your organization or church name. I have entered Grace Community Church as my example. Next, enter your currency symbol. You can copy and paste your preferred symbol directly into the cell. I have used the $sign. Feel free to replace it with whatever currency you use. Then we enter your start year and start month. Since this is a multi-year template, your start year is simply the first year you begin using it. You will continue using the same file year after year without starting over. Your start month defaults to January. You only need to change it if your fiscal year differs from the calendar year. For example, if your fiscal year runs May to April, you would enter May as your start month. You'll see a red helper note right there that explains exactly how the fiscal year works. For this demonstration, I'll keep it as a calendar year, starting January 2025. Next, pick a name for your income statement from the drop-down menu. There are 5 options to choose from, all tailored to nonprofit statement names. And finally, you'll notice the Helper Notes toggle. Helper Notes appear throughout the workbook with this little pencil and paper symbol. They are there to give you quick guidance on each section and tell you which cells are input cells. If you want a cleaner view for printing or presentations, you can hide all of them at once. Check the box in Google Sheets or type Yes in Excel. You can turn them back on anytime and they will always be there when you need them. Now let's move to section 1.2, Account Setup. This is where you tell the template where your money lives. You can add up to 10 accounts. Any accounts where you deposit income or donations and pay expenses from. This includes bank accounts, credit cards, and savings accounts. Anything you want to track cash flow for. Enter the account name and your opening balance as of your template start date. So in this example, since I started in January 2025, I enter my balances as of January 1st, 2025. Bank accounts and assets are entered as positive values. Credit cards and loans are entered as negative values. Now let's move to section 1.3, Fund Setup. This is unique to the church bookkeeping template. Many churches and other nonprofits manage multiple funds simultaneously: a general fund, a building fund, a missions fund, an events fund, and others. This template allows you to set up and track up to 10 funds. Each transaction in the transaction log can be tagged to a specific fund, so you always know exactly how much is held in each fund and how it's being used. Setting up your funds is simple. Just enter your fund names in the input cells. I already have a few preset funds set up for this template, but you can customize these to match your organization's specific fund structure. Similar to accounts, enter your opening balance for each fund as of your template start date. So in this example, I will input balances as of January 1st, 2025. If you don't have opening balances, you can simply input 0 in the space provided. Now let's move to section 1.4, Payment Method Setup. This is another feature unique to the church bookkeeping template. Here, you can set up the payment methods your church uses to receive or make payments. For example, cash, check, e-transfer, or PayPal. Once set up, these will appear as a drop-down option in the transaction log, so you can tag each transaction with how the money actually moved. This is particularly useful because it helps you track cash offerings separately from different payment methods and supports your reconciliation against bank statements and offering records. All inputs from sections 1.2 through 1.4 will flow into the transaction log, and I will show you exactly how to tag transactions when we get there. These sections are fully customizable, so feel free to set up your accounts, fund names, and payment methods to match your church's specific needs. Just keep in mind that once you have started logging transactions, do not change these names as it will break the links throughout the template. Now let's move to section 1.5, which is your chart of accounts setup. This is one of the most powerful features of the template, and it works very similarly to a professional accounting software. The great news is, this template already comes pre-populated with church-specific income and expense categories, so you may not need to change much here at all. But let me walk you through how it works. In section 1.5, you define your main categories. You have up to 15 income categories and 15 expense categories. Keep these broad and high level, things like tithes and offerings, events and fundraising, salaries and honorariums, and administrative. These are your top-line reporting categories that show on your dashboards and income statement. In section 1.6, you assign your subcategories. You can have up to 75 subcategories in total, and each main category must have at least one assigned. Subcategories give you the detailed tracking, and they automatically roll up into their main category for all your reporting. Let me show you an example. I will click the drop-down in section 1.6, and you can see all my main income categories have populated automatically from section 1.5. I will select Tithes and Offerings and now type Special Offerings as my subcategory. You can see I already have regular tithes, general offerings, and online giving set up. All four of these will roll up into the single Tithes and Offerings line on your income and expense and dashboards. This allows your reports to stay clean at the top level while all the detail is captured underneath. On the right side, we have expenses, which work the same way, so I won't go through it in detail. A few important rules before we move on. Number 1. Any main categories from section 1.5 will not flow into the transaction log until section 1.6 is completed. If your main categories do not have any subcategories, you can simply repeat the main category name as the subcategory. That's completely fine. So, for example, I will select Other Income from the drop-down menu and then type Other Income as the subcategory. Number 2. Subcategory names must be unique across the entire workbook. If you enter a duplicate, both cells will highlight and you'll need to rename one. Number 3. Once you start entering transactions, do not rename your categories or subcategories as it will break the links throughout the template. There is an error check in the transaction log that catches accidental changes, and I will show you that shortly. Number 4. You can always add new categories and subcategories at any time, even after you have started entering transactions, as long as you are within the limit of 15 main categories and 75 subcategories. And that's it. We're done with the Inputs tab. Now let's skip over the Member List tab and take a quick look at the Chart of Accounts tab. As indicated by the helper note in the top left, this tab requires no manual input. It's automatically generated from sections 1.5 and 1.6 of your Inputs tab. As you add or update your categories and subcategories there, they will appear here instantly organized by main category. Use it as a clean reference for your financial structure. Now let's go back to the Member List tab, which we skipped earlier. This is your congregation directory, and it powers two key features: the Member Giving Summary and the Congregation Summary, which I will show you later in the video. This template supports up to 1,000 members. For each member, enter their name, contact information, and any relevant details. You don't need to enter everyone right away. You can add members at any time, even after you have started entering transactions. When a member is no longer active, simply change their status to inactive and enter the end date. The Years Active column will automatically calculate how long they've been part of your congregation. You'll also be able to tag members in your transaction log, so it's important that you don't change names or delete any members once they are set up. Now let's move on to our last setup tab, the budget. You can set monthly surplus targets for up to 10 years. Here's a cool little feature. Whichever year you input in this cell, the dates in this row will automatically update and the corresponding year in the table will be highlighted. So when you're ready to set your 2026 budget, just input 2026 and the months update accordingly. Enter your surplus targets as positive numbers and deficits as negative numbers. This is optional, but I recommend using it. It flows into your dashboards and gives you a budget versus actual comparison each month. You don't need to fill in all 10 years up front. Just populate the current year and add future years when you get there. Now we're at the heart of the template, the transaction log. This is the most important tab and where everything begins. Every transaction you enter here will automatically flow into your income and expense tab, all your dashboards, fund tracker, member giving summary, and account reconciliations. You only enter data in one centralized transaction log, and everything updates automatically across every tab. No separate tabs for data input, just one place for all your transactions, and the template does the rest. Before I walk through the fields, a few important things to know. Number 1, do not insert or delete rows. The template has hidden formula columns that power the dropdowns and smart prompts. If you insert a row, those formulas won't carry through. The template is built with 10,000 rows, so you'll never run out of space. If you miss a transaction from a previous month, just add it below your current entries. Number 2, the gray cells on the far right are your smart prompt and error check column. Do not edit them. If a warning pop-up appears, just click cancel. So how does it work? The smart prompt guides you through every transaction. Based on whatever transaction type you select, it will tell you exactly which fields need to be completed. This ensures every transaction is accurate and nothing gets missed. The error check is your safety net. If you ever accidentally rename a category or subcategory in your Inputs tab, this will flag it immediately so you can fix it before it affects your reports. Number 3, use this log as frequently as you need to, daily, weekly, or monthly, whatever works best for your church. The more current your log, the more accurate your reports will be throughout the year. Let's get started with the template. There are 3 mandatory fields: date, transaction type, and amount. Let's start with the date. It must be a valid date. If it's not formatted correctly, a pop-up will appear right away. Now transaction type. This tells the template exactly where to put this transaction and how to treat it. There are 5 transaction types. The first 2 are income and expense, which directly affect your income statement. The remaining 3 are cash flow transaction types only and do not impact your net income. Let me show you income and expense first, and then we will move through the cash flow types. I will go ahead and enter a transaction on June 1st, 2026, and select income as the transaction type. I will input the amount as $2,000. In this example, say this was a tithe received from a congregation member. Next is the payment method field. This is optional and for record-keeping purposes only. It does not affect any reports. I will select e-transfer. Next is the member name field. This is also optional, but if you're using the member giving summary or congregation summary tabs, make sure to select the member name where applicable so the giving gets tracked correctly. In this case, I will select Brandon Lewis. Description is next, and again, this is optional and just for your own records. Now I will skip over to the fund column. This is not a mandatory field, but if you're using the fund tracker, make sure to select the appropriate fund for each transaction so your fund balances stay accurate. In this case, the donation was not designated to a specific fund, so I will apply it to the general fund. If you do not want to track funds at all, you can simply leave this column blank. Now you'll see the smart prompt has appeared in column N. It's telling me I need to select a to account and a category and subcategory. The to account is where this income gets deposited. I will select checkings account ending in 758. If a transaction has not been deposited into a specific account, or you're not tracking cash flow, you can select no account assigned, and the transaction will still flow into your dashboards and reports. I will then select tithes and offerings as my category and regular tithes as my subcategory. Before I press enter, you'll notice the warning counter at the top is showing 1 issue. You must always clear this before reviewing any dashboards or reports. It's your completeness check. Once I press enter, you'll see both the smart prompt and the warning counter disappear. That's it, the transaction is complete. Now let me quickly show you an expense for $500. The process is very similar, however, many of the optional fields may not apply. In this example, I will still select a payment method since the expense was paid by bank transfer. I will not select a member name since expenses are not typically tied to a specific member. Expense should be assigned to the appropriate fund wherever possible. This ensures your fund tracker accurately reflects the true balance of each fund after both income and expenses are accounted for. In most cases, general operating expenses like salaries, utilities, and office supplies will be assigned to the general fund. Expenses directly related to a specific fund, such as a building project expense, would be assigned to the building fund. In this case, this expense relates to office supplies, so I will select General Fund. Now, if you look at the Smart Prompt, the only difference from income is that you select a From account instead of a To account, since funds are being withdrawn. The corresponding expense categories from your Inputs tab will populate in the dropdown. I will select my From account and assign Administrative as the category and Office Supplies as the subcategory, and that's it. We have both an income and expense transaction complete. Now let's go through a couple of the cash flow transaction types. These are transfers, other deposits, and other withdrawals. None of these impact your net income, but they all affect your cash flow and need to be recorded. We will go through an other withdrawal transaction type as an example. I will select Other Withdrawal and enter $1,000. Say the treasurer withdrew cash from the bank account to replenish the church petty cash fund. The Smart Prompt tells me I only need to select a From account for this transaction type. This represents the account the cash is being withdrawn from. I will select this checkings account. This transaction will not impact your income statement, but will appear in your cash flow tracking, so your account balances always stay accurate. Now let's move on to a transfer. This transaction type is used for moving money between your own church accounts. I'll enter $300, and the Smart Prompt tells me I need both a From account and a To account. I'll select checking account ending in 758 as the From, and checking account ending in 634 as the To. One thing worth noting, if you accidentally select the same account for both From and To, the warning will flag it immediately, telling you both accounts must be different. Once you correct it, the Smart Prompt clears and the transaction is complete. In this template, we haven't set up a credit card account, but if your church does use one, you can also use the transfer transaction type to record credit card payments. Simply select your bank account as the From account and your credit card as the To account, and it'll reduce your credit card balance accordingly. The last thing I want to cover before we move on is the error check column. We talked about how the Smart Prompt guides you through each transaction, but this column also protects you if something goes wrong in your Inputs tab. Here's a real example. Say we accidentally went into the Inputs tab and removed the S from General Offerings, so it now reads General Offering instead. That small change breaks the link for every transaction that was logged to that subcategory. If I go back into the transaction log, you can see the error check has caught it immediately. There are now 17 errors flagged. Scrolling through, you can see exactly which rows are affected. Any transaction linked to that subcategory is no longer flowing through to your reports. You have two ways to fix it. Either go into each affected row and reselect the correct subcategory from the dropdown, or the easier option, just go back into the Inputs tab and add the S back so it reads General Offerings again. The moment you make that correction and come back to the transaction log, all 17 errors clear automatically. Just like that, everything is flowing correctly again. This is why the error check is so valuable. It catches accidental changes before they silently affect your reports without you knowing. Now let's go ahead and look at all these transactions flowing through the statement of income and expense and dashboards. Here's the statement of income and expense. Enter the year and everything populates automatically. You'll notice a little plus on the left side. The statement defaults to showing your first 7 categories in a condensed view. If you have more than 7, go ahead and click the plus to expand. A warning will appear, but this is one of the few times you can click OK. Income and expenses are organized by main category across all 12 months. You'll notice that subcategories don't show here and only the main category totals appear. That's completely by design to keep the statement clean and readable. You can always drill into your subcategory detail using the dashboards, which we will get to shortly. Now let me show you the transactions we just entered flowing through. We inputted a $2,000 income transaction and a $500 expense transaction earlier, and here they are in the June 2026 column. Everything is flowing correctly, and your surplus has been reflected appropriately. You'll notice that the cash transactions, like the transfer and other withdrawal, don't appear here. The income statement is focused purely on income, expenses, and surplus. But don't worry, I'll show you exactly where those cash transactions appear when we get to the account reconciliation tabs shortly. Now let's move into the monthly dashboard. This is where your data really comes to life. All you need to do is select a month and enter a year, and everything populates automatically. Any month and year you have transactions entered for will show up here, so as your data builds up over time, this dashboard becomes more and more powerful. At the top, you have got your key metrics, showing total income, total expenses, and net income all compared automatically to the same month last year. No manual prior year lookups needed at all. To the right, you have got your monthly savings progress, showing how you're tracking against your budget target for the month. To the left is your income and expense summary, with prior year comparison in a visual chart. And in the middle, you have got all your main categories comparing current year to last year at a glance. Now, if you scroll down, you'll see your top 5 income and expense charts and the trailing 15-month summary chart. Since I have May 2026 selected, you can instantly see the last 15 months going all the way back to March 2025. This is really useful for spotting seasonal trends, giving patterns, and any months that need attention. And at the very bottom is your full subcategory detail ranked from largest to smallest. So for example, you'll see facilities and operations broken down into 2 subcategories, insurance and cleaning. The total of these 2 subcategories is $625, and this will always agree to your main category total at the top. That's the beauty of the roll-up structure we set up in the Inputs tab earlier. Now let's take a quick look at the annual dashboard. It works almost exactly the same way as the monthly dashboard. Just enter a year and it shows all 12 months side by side with prior year comparison. It's perfect for your year-end review. I won't go through every chart in detail since the structure is identical to the monthly view, but just presented at a full year level instead of a single month. Now the 5-year dashboard is your long game view. Just enter the most recent year you want to see, and it will automatically pull the prior 4 years. So if I enter 2026, you instantly see 2022 through 2026 in one view. Simple as that. You'll see category level results, income and expense allocation charts, and your overall performance trends across the full 5-year period. Your best year for total income and your best year for surplus are also highlighted automatically, so you can see at a glance where your organization peaked. This dashboard becomes incredibly powerful as you keep using the template over multiple years and your data builds up. And just like the income statement, remember to click the plus sign on the left if you have got more than 7 categories, so everything expands and populates correctly. Now let's look at the member giving summary. This tab is one of the most valuable features for any church treasurer because it gives you a complete giving history for every member in one place, and it's the foundation for issuing donation receipts at year end. To use it, simply select a member name from the dropdown and enter the year. If you leave the year blank, it will pull all transactions across every year. On the right, you'll see the member's contact information pulling directly from your member list tab. At the top, you'll see their total values of contributions and total number of contributions made for the year selected. Towards the bottom, you have a detailed transaction breakdown pulling directly from the transaction log, showing every individual donation that member made. This is all automatic. It flows through based on the member name you tagged when entering transactions in the transaction log. A few important notes before using this for receipts. First, you'll still need to issue the official receipts through your church's established process. This tab provides the data, but does not generate the actual receipt document. Second, always verify the accuracy of the amounts shown here against your transaction log before issuing any receipts. The totals are only as accurate as the transactions you have entered and tagged to the correct member. And as always, consult your accountant to confirm the correct eligible amounts, receipt format, and any filing requirements for your jurisdiction. Now let's look at the congregation summary. This is your full congregation view for any selected year. Simply enter the year, and every member in your directory will automatically populate along with their current status. You'll then see a monthly summary of total donations for each member across all 12 months. At the top, you have your total contributions for the entire congregation for the year and a chart showing your top 5 contributors at a glance. This tab is perfect for leadership reporting and board meetings. It gives your church leadership a complete picture of congregation giving patterns throughout the year in one clean, organized view. Now let's get into the account reconciliations. This template has 2 options, so let's walk through both. The first is the Account Reconciliation tab. This one works just like a real accounting system. Instead of relying on month-end dates, your reconciliation is based on your actual bank statement dates. So if your statement ends on the 25th, the template automatically pulls exactly the right transactions for that period. No guessing, no manual adjustments. Let's go through an example. I will select June 2026 as the month I want to reconcile. You can see I have already reconciled checking account ending in 758. Now I will reconcile checking account ending in 634. Let's scroll to the far right, select the account from the drop-down, enter my statement end date of June 20th, 2026, and enter my statement balance of $11,510 straight from my bank statement. Now if I scroll back left, you can see all transactions have automatically populated for that exact period: opening balance, income, expenses, and all cash transactions. You'll notice the $1,000 other withdrawal we entered for petty cash is here, as well as the $300 transfer between both checking accounts. It shows as a withdrawal in account 758 and a deposit in account 634. The ending balance recalculates automatically, and because it agrees exactly to my statement balance, it shows reconciled. You just repeat the same steps for any other accounts and for each month end. Simple as that. One extra feature worth knowing about is the tolerable range. The default is set at $10. Say my statement balance was actually $11,600. That's a $90 difference, so the template would flag it as unreconciled. But if I change the tolerable range to $100, any variance under $100 will show as reconciled automatically. Super useful for avoiding unnecessary investigation of small rounding differences. And if you want to reconcile to the penny, just set it to $0. At the bottom, you have a current view showing real-time account balances as of today. No manual input needed. And to the left are 2 visual charts showing your inflows versus outflows and your current account balances, plus your key summary metrics at the top. Now let's look at option 2, which is the Accounts Custom tab. Much simpler. Just enter a custom date range, and all transactions within that period populate automatically with a calculated ending balance. No statement required, no month selection needed. I will enter May 21st to June 20th, 2026, and you can see the same transactions populate, and the ending balance matches exactly to what we saw in the previous tab. So which one is right for you? If you want a formal reconciliation process that ties directly to your bank statements, go with the Account Reconciliation tab. If you just want a flexible way to monitor cash activity across any period, the Accounts Custom tab is your go-to. You can use one, both, or neither, and just hide whichever one you are not using to keep things clean. Now let's look at the Fund Tracker. The Fund Tracker gives you a complete view of every fund in your organization for any selected month and year. Simply select a month from the drop-down and enter a year, and all your funds appear automatically showing total receipts, total expenses, other cash transfers, and the ending balance for each fund. Think of it like your Account Reconciliation tab, but organized by fund instead of by bank account. At the top, you have your key metrics showing total inflows, total outflows, and your overall ending fund balance for the selected period. Below that is your monthly view. All transactions for the selected month populate here across all funds. To the left is a visual showing your fund balances as of month end, and to the right is your inflows versus outflows breakdown. Towards the bottom, you have a current view showing real-time fund balances as of today, with similar charts on both sides. The closing balance for each fund is your key number here. This tells you exactly how much has been designated to each fund as of any point in time, which is critical for accountability and transparency with your church leadership and congregation. Now on to the final tab, Let's look at the balance sheet. This is a manual monthly input. At the end of each month, once everything is recorded, go ahead and enter your closing balances for all your balance sheet accounts. The template is not fully automated here and does not link to other tabs in the workbook, but you can manually pull your bank, credit card, or loan balances from the Account Reconciliation tab. At the bottom is your balance check indicator. It confirms your balance sheet is balanced when total assets equal total liabilities plus equity. Always check this before you close your books at month end. And since this is a multi-year template, the balance sheet does not roll forward automatically. At year end, just export a copy for your records, clear the white input cells, and enter your opening balances to start fresh. And that's a wrap on the church bookkeeping system. Once you're set up, it's a simple routine. Log your transactions, check your dashboards monthly, and by year end, your books are ready to go. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this template helps you gain clarity and confidence in your finances.